Alrighty, folks. Hello. Welcome in to Adobe Live. My name is VooDoo Val, and I'm joined here by my good friend Cody Bear. How are you this morning, Cody?
I am fantastic, Val. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really pumped about today's live stream, about today's prompt and everything, and I'm going to get into a little bit about what drawing a blank is. But first of all, I'd love to say hello to everybody in the chat. I see General Kenobi, Carol Pearl, Oliver Andrews, Keys, Jack Watson. It is so good to have you folks with us this morning. And we are actually running production slightly different today, so if you folks could let us know in the chat, just, make sure that you folks can hear both of us all right. You guys can hear the music. Just let us know. That would be fabulous. And I'll dive into what the show is. So as you can see, Cody and I have some interesting little Mad Libs inspired prompts down below us here. A little bit about us. All of the important facts, honestly, about Cody and I. And all
That's all you need
true.
to know.
Yeah, all very true, all very accurate and very true. We are going to be working on a prompt just like this today, except that you folks in chat get to vote on some of the highlighted themes in each line. So I'm going to pop over here to our work screen, and you folks can take a peek at what we've got going for today. So we are working on a coral reef or shipwreck illustration today with a scuba diver or a manta ray and lots of small fish or one big fish. So our very first poll, which is something we're going to be doing throughout the beginning of our stream today, we'll have 3 polls over on the YouTube chat. That first poll is going to be a choice between coral reef or shipwreck. If you are over on the YouTube chat, you will see the poll pop up. If you are over on Behance and prefer to watch the show over there, I suggest heading over to YouTube, popping out that chat and creating kind of a little poll voting module for yourself so that you can have those polls up and take a peek at what we are throwing in the chat for you. Jack says, Happy International Women's Day. Hey! Oliver says, big fish, little fish, cardboard box. I don't have an option for cardboard box, but you are welcome to do so. Looks like we've got that poll up and running. So if you folks would like to go over and join it, we are tied. Actually, we've only got a couple of votes, and in the meantime, Cody and I are going to start sketching around.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting one, Cody, because you and I are typically doing polls that involve like characters, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of a location sort of vibe, which I honestly am excited about because it's something new. A change of pace for the show, but it also gives us the opportunity to showcase some new techniques and stuff for the audience. And I think that I will probably, whichever gets voted on, I will probably approach them both in a similar way. I've got like a sketch here for what a coral reef could possibly look like, and really, for me, it's kind of just like if I do an illustration of like a coral type texture or a coral type formation, I can illustrate, 3 of those and then sort of stagger them to create like this little coral reef island underwater. And the same
Yeah.
could be true for like a shipwreck. Like if I wanted to do something like that, I can actually group this and turn this on a lower opacity. I could do the same thing with a shipwreck. Like maybe I'll put like a boat, and then I will have still maybe some coral reef things kind of staggered and lined up. What is your approach to the project for today?
The first thing that I thought of, because I don't do very many underwater scenes,
Mm-hmm.
I thought the best way that I could probably approach this would be to put everything into a fishbowl. So
So cute.
I so I think I am going to kind of do like a little micro environment almost. So we're gonna like kind of, I've never drawn a fishbowl either. So again, this is like it's a little bit different than what I normally do. So I'm kind of just, again, kind of like last week, kind of just like figuring it out as we go,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like kind of ends up being like the best stream sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
So we
Oh
will
yeah.
see how it goes.
I think that personally one of my favorite things about this show is like we have an idea about like what we might be illustrating for you folks, but you guys come in and kind of give us the final piece to the puzzle, and then we end up, you know, doing a combination of things that we weren't totally planning on, and
Hmm.
it leaves a lot of room for experimenting with techniques, for trying new things, and I don't think I ever end this stream with the kind of piece I assumed I would be illustrating for the day.
Seriously though, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
It's
it's
always
good.
like, wow, this is totally different than what I anticipated.
Yeah. I mean, we've done like goblins. I mean, last week we did like cat characters, and I ended up with like a big burly like barbarian adventure guide
Yeah.
with cat features, and you had like this perfect little guy that was like gonna grow up to be like, we had backstories, we had, you know,
Yeah.
all these different things, and it's a good time. It looks like we have got a winner for our poll. I think I'll call it here so we can get
Okay.
into what we're doing, and it is going to be coral reef, um,
Okay,
which
cool.
I'm pumped for. I'm very pumped
Yeah.
for it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my coral reef sketch, and start working on this, and we will get the we will close the poll and we will get the next one in, which is going to be with a scuba diver or a manta ray, folks. I want to know. I want to know. Have you ever seen the stream? We will be serenading you every Friday morning,
We're
here
getting
on
wacky
Adobe
today,
Live.
guys.
We are, we are. I think it would be really cool to try doing like a negative. And
Oh.
I've wanted to do this so many times. Maybe a negative is not the right word, like a risograph.
Yes, I knew what you meant. I was picking up
Okay,
what you were putting
perfect.
down.
Because it
Yeah.
would be really awesome to be able to see like all of the different things that I'm doing for this. So if I chose like some colors, and maybe for right now I'll do it with grayscale.
Uh-huh.
Um, but if I choose like, you know, we'll do like a almost black, and I can like sketch kind of coral-esque looking weirdness here and turn it on a lower opacity, and then kind of start to build up all of these um, pieces for the coral reef, you would still see a lot of those details through it, and I think it would
Yeah.
make it look more populated, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try that. I've never tried to do this, folks. So if this turns into a disaster, let's just ride the wave of experimentation here, okay?
As the title says,
Yes.
making waves.
Yes.
By the way, March is Making Waves Month at Adobe Live.
Mm-hmm.
We've done in the past, I don't know exactly what the plan is for Making Waves this month, but we have done like ocean themed streams
Oh
in the
yeah.
past in March. So that is partially why we have ventured out of our comfort zones to make you some ocean themed illustrations today.
Indeed, indeed. And honestly, the ocean is, while it's maybe not a major theme in a lot of my personal artwork, I've always been really fascinated with the ocean. In
Yeah.
fact, if I'm not listening to an audiobook or like watching a show in the background while I'm working, I usually have documentaries on, either about bugs or deep sea life. You know,
Totally, yeah.
all the freaky looking stuff that this planet has to offer, usually falls into one of those categories, and I am obsessed. So yeah, it's definitely a fascinating subject, and I'm happy to be kind of diving into a little more of that in our work today. Clever Devlin's in the house. Seahorses in a coral corral. Why didn't we think of that? Why did we?
That's adorable.
Yeah, that's amazing. Why did we not think of that? That's great. Let's see what we've got. Ooh, we've got a lot of votes for manta ray. The We'll leave the poll up for just a little bit longer if you folks want to join in the fun and let us know what we're going to be designing today. Again, if you would like to vote in the poll to let us know what we're going to be illustrating, please head over to the Adobe Live YouTube channel where you will see the polls. And if you prefer to watch our shows over on Behance, I suggest popping out the chat so that you can have a little voting module and kind of participate in the voting process, even if you are in a different location. We've got our second poll up, which will decide whether we are going to be adding a scuba diver or manta ray to our piece, and then after that we'll be throwing up another poll, which will dictate whether we will be adding in another large fish, or maybe a school of tiny fish, or honestly, as a coral reef, it might behoove us, if that ends up being what gets chosen, to do like a bunch of different kinds of little fish, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I think coral reefs are some of the most beautiful things on the planet. Just, I feel like that, what was that movie? Will Smith was a fish, I think.
Oh, Shark Tales.
Yeah, Shark Tales. Like, I feel like they had such an awesome, like, visual representation of a coral reef in that movie, where all the fish are working together. It was like a fish car wash, kind of, which is essentially like what it is in real life. You know, like this little ecosystem floating in the middle of, you know, the bottom of the sea, and all of these different creatures and things come in and either live there or, you know, take a pit stop, you know, in their day, which I just think is super fun. And you get to see, like, it's one of those times in nature where you see, like, the animal kingdom comes together regardless of their roles and exist in the same place.
Absolutely.
Well, next to incredibly long purple nails. Yes, Keys! So we were watching Lowell Studios the other day, and they were doing some designs that had long witchy nails. And I think Chad has decided that I need them.
Of course, yes.
I
can't believe you don't already.
Yeah, I've also decided that I need them. I don't want to, you know, it's not just chat. I was like, where do I get? Where?
Yeah, exactly.
Where can I have? Okay, I have like, I think this is, sketch-wise, I think that this is pretty accurate maybe to like the vibe of a coral reef. And I need to polish it up, but it's coming together. I'm feeling like
that looks awesome.
I'm in my cronk stage. It's all coming together now.
It's all coming together.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're trying to achieve whenever we set out to do artwork, is we just want to get to that cronk phase.
Exactly.
You know, where we start to really have confidence in our work. Yours is looking fabulous, by the way.
Thank you.
I love how you have it angled. Like it curves. Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to like create like a little kind of like enclosure feeling, you know, like everything is like curved in.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely. It looks like manta ray has definitely won our second poll, and I'm super excited. Manta rays are one of my favorite sea creatures, by the way. Cody and I were just talking about this. What is your favorite sea creature, Cody? Do you have a favorite, or like a favorite few, like the kinds of sea creatures that are very interesting to you?
Let's see. I would have to really think about this. I definitely really love orcas. I think that they're really super cool. I also really love just all the different types of jellyfish too.
Yes, really cool.
And I also have to say the seahorse that looks like seaweed. I forget what they're called. They're like dragon seahorse or something. Yeah. There's so many, honestly. Like there's so many.
I think
I could just go on.
I think that specific seahorse you're talking about, I did actually get to see in person at an aquarium in San Francisco, I think. It was the first time I ever got to see one of those in real life, and they are honestly really exquisite creatures.
Yeah,
Just
seriously.
like so gorgeous.
They glide.
Yes, they do.
you
They
know,
just like kind of, if you didn't know what you were looking at, you would think it was like a loose piece of algae or
Right.
something floating in the water until you realize it's looking at you. You know, it's like very interesting.
Camouflage, natural camouflage in nature is so fascinating.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so crazy.
Yes, absolutely. It looks like we are getting votes in for our third and final poll, folks. So we are going to be also adding to our coral reef with our manta ray either one big fish or lots of small fish. And I'm seeing all the votes so far are coming in for lots of small fish, which is perhaps appropriate.
Yeah.
But we'll leave that up for just a little bit longer so you folks can continue to vote, and we will keep chipping away at our sketches while we wait for the results. I really like I believe it is called a mantis shrimp.
Oh,
Those things are crazy, and they were like one of the fastest creatures in the sea, like their strike power and everything. Not only are they like super fast, but they're like really strong, powerful, and when it comes to like defending themselves and like catching prey, I think they're super fascinating. And we've got, I think it was Carol Pearl, was it Carol saying, Barbara saying octopi, absolutely. Cuttlefish, the sweet babies of the sea.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pull up some reference.
I'm looking at reference as well.
Yeah, I feel like I need some, let's see. I feel like I need to decide whether I want to do this as a like lasso, like use the lasso tool to make these shapes, and I almost feel like I should if I'm gonna go for like a risograph vibe. Like I've got my forms blocked in, but like I kind of want to give it a particular kind of texture. So I think I'm gonna be doing it with the polygonal lasso tool, but I want to see how other artists interpret these shapes for a coral reef, because I don't want to just put literal coral. Like I want to have a few different formations, and I'm gonna need to, you know, kind of vary that. So let's take a peek. Let's see. So if I want to do, I could do like actual coral. Let's do polygonal lasso. I never know how to say certain things in Photoshop. I say polygonal lasso tool, but I think it might be polygonal.
I think it's said either way. I think it technically correct is polygonal. I used to say polygonal, and then until I started hearing other people say polygonal, and now I just say polygonal. But I think it's said either way.
It's like polygonal, Gaussian, opacity, opacity.
Tomato,
like,
tomato.
Yeah. I never know for sure, and then I feel like I say it sometimes, and every once in a while someone will be like, What are you talking about? What do you mean?
What is that?
What do you I'm like, I don't know. I've been reading it for years.
I'm a professional, okay?
Yeah, I know how to use it. I just don't know how to tell you what it's about. I don't know how to direct you with the proper pronunciation. Okay, let's do, I think that looks like a coral formation. It looks like a boxy coral formation, but it's gonna get there. Okay, I'm gonna grab like a random red. Am I gonna do that? I am gonna do that. There's a red. And then I'm gonna hide that because I don't want to look at it the whole time while I'm doing this. We're gonna go underneath. And then I kind of want to do one of those big, like, bulbous ones, which I think in reality are probably, like, super rough and, like, not fun to
Yeah.
touch. But, like,
Yeah.
you know, the big bulby round ones, and they have, like, that really cool, like, almost maze-like pattern.
Yeah, it's like a brain. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to do one of those. So we're gonna do like a big kind of bulb like this. And then I'm gonna grab like a purple. I'm not gonna be crazy with my colors either. I'm just like separating them by color at this point, and then maybe I think I will go and do like a like go to Adobe Color and find myself a color palette that I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know? See if I can, oops. See if I can find like a good palette of colors that work well together rather than selecting. This is like we've talked about in the past of like having the colors that we typically work with and, you know, using what is familiar to us and things that we like. But I feel like, especially after doing this show so often, I've gotten really used to selecting colors just on the fly and finding
Oh,
things.
nice.
Yeah, but this is gonna be like a lot of different elements, and I don't know that I could
Yeah.
select this many colors and still have it look nice together. I don't think so. So, I'm gonna put this one larger, and I think I'm gonna put this on top. Okay, I think if you guys want to check in with our poll, we could stand to get a few more votes in there if you folks want to participate, but it looks like lots of small fish is coming in
Oh.
for the win here.
Okay.
But I'll give you folks just a little more time if you want to participate, and that is for anybody who's just joining over on the Adobe Live YouTube channel. You can jump into the chat and take a peek at our polls where you folks can vote on all of the different elements that Codi and I add into our illustrations today. We've already had votes come in for the first two polls, 2 of 3, which were, we voted on a coral reef and a manta ray to add to our illustrations, and now we are choosing between either a school of fish, a bunch of little fish, or adding another large fish into our piece. I'm gonna flip this horizontal, and I'm gonna reuse this texture back here because
I love the dimension that you're adding with your values there. How do you typically go about checking your values like that to add dimension? I never work in black and white like that.
I will do my little Control Y trick here, which actually it looks like I need to change things up just a tiny bit. So I have my, if I go into View and go into Proof Setup and Custom, this little window opens up. Uh-oh, ruh-roh. I think you guys can still see me, but I can't see you because my Windows did that thing where it's like, do you want to hide all windows?
Oh no, I hate that.
I think it removed our Codi for a second. There we go. Yeah, sometimes Windows is like, are you trying to escape from every window that you have deliberately up so you can see what you're working on? And I'm like, no, Windows. And it's
No,
like, are you
I'm
sure?
not.
Are you sure? So I gotta pull up my chat and everything again. All right. So basically I go into view, proof setup, custom, and I set device to simulate to working gray.gain 20% and hit OK. And what that allows me to do is hit Control Y, and I can flip back between value and color, just to check. And you can see here, like I'm looking at the values, and I'm thinking that instead of, like, I kind of got ahead of myself actually, with dropping color in here. Because when I go into black and white, while I can see the difference between red, yellow, and purple here, the values, like, I'm losing a lot of like visual markers here with the values. So if I want to change that, I can come in, and I'm thinking maybe we leave this dark color for our coral, and we come in with a lighter color. If I hold V to get my move tool, I can just select this element and it'll jump directly to that middle piece there. I'll go back to my paint bucket, and we can start to, let's maybe make that a tiny bit dark, and we can start to like change the value really of this. And I think I'm gonna actually come through to all of these and change them back to grayscale just for now, because I want to be able to kind of see them all a little bit differently. So now if I go back, if I go out, I've changed it to grayscale so you can kind of see. But now I think that the values are looking a lot better. And I think that's something to keep in mind as you folks at home work through your illustrations. And that is sometimes color differentiates different elements in your piece very, very well. But if there's something not quite right with your illustration and you can't tell what it is, you're using the colors you like the forms you've created, you like your composition and all that stuff, but something's not quite right, check the values and see if there's not something there that's making it feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
That usually is what it is for me. Also, I think we can go ahead and close our third poll. We've got all of a majority votes for lots of small fish. So we are, yes, we are moving into the kind of getting some of the finishing final details of what we need for our piece in now, and then we can kind of carry on with our detailing phase, kind of adding more in. You have got like just this gorgeous piece going though, Codi.
Thank you.
I love it.
I really like your kind of like more like chunky geometric shapes that you're going for, because you're using the polygonal lasso, so it kind of like definitely gives a specific like art style to it. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to dive in with textured brushes to kind of bring it to life a little bit more, of like seeing if I can leave the general shape of a lot of these pieces like very simple and very like stamped in, and then come in with like charcoal brush or something, maybe even make our own brush that will give it a little more dimension in with a new technique, rather than just like illustrating and drawing each individual piece. I'm trying to push myself to be different every week, you know?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hide those things. I feel like my sketch really brought out more on that other side. So I'm going to grab with my, I'm gonna hit V on my keyboard so that I can come in and move that. Yeah. Give it a little more dimension. Move these elements around until I like them. That looks like a little coral reef island.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then I'm going to kind of center these a little bit better. And now we're gonna color it. All right. Let me look through the chat, make sure we're hanging out with our buds here. Colby, welcome in. It's good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Colby.
Yeah. Cody's has been inked out. Yeah, Cody is like, she is trucking through this. This is crazy. I love it. Why don't squid Sketch and pencil. Oh, they prefer ink. Ha 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 ha. Honestly, that was great, clever, and I feel like we were very sassy with you about that. But very good. I couldn't help but look it up. Polygonal is pronounced poly.
Don't even try.
Yeah, I can't. I still. You gotta give me the like. I know that's probably the perfect phonetic like pronunciation, but I don't know what the fancy dots mean on top of a lot of the letters. So you lost me again, and really it's my fault is what I'm trying to say.
Now it's worse.
Yeah, now it's really really worse. Okay, so I've got these pieces. I would like if I can come in with like, I'm just gonna come in with a blue for like to sketch with my brush. I would like to put our manta ray in right here, maybe, and have the little, you know, little thing like that. I'm just gonna sketch that in because I don't wanna do too much. But I'm gonna sketch in where I think I want it. And right now it looks like a sad whale. But it'll be a manta, folks. Trust the process. What happens.
It's like, yeah, trust that sculpting process. You know, at first you start out with like, what is that? But the artist is like, I can see it.
Yeah, I can.
It's there.
I'm mind twinning with my piece right now, and I can see the future of it. I don't know how you guys typically work, but when I work, I sometimes have an internal monologue going as if I am a creative necromancer of sorts.
A mad scientist.
Yeah, communing with my piece, and it tells me sometimes what's going to happen. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes when my art speaks to me, it's got bad ideas only. But I've been honing this power over time, trying to only hear the whispers of good ideas, and it serves me well sometimes. But I think that this could go well. I almost kind of want. I mean, like
he's in chat. Actually, has a question.
Oh.
They say it's a silly question, but it's not a silly question. They say, are you both on a Wacom tablet combo for this? I am using a Wacom Intuos Pro. This is a medium size. It's all I ever use. I don't have a Cintiq. What are you using, Val?
I am using a Cintiq, actually. And it is the Cintiq 16 HD. And I think it's a great tablet. I recommend it, but I always like to say, you know, when people ask what kind of tools I use and stuff, the Wacom Cintiq is, I think, a luxury item. You know, like I've been doing this professionally for over a decade, and I was like, okay, I want to invest in getting, you know, a good, like a really cool tablet, and that's what I did. But I used hand-me-down Intuos Pro that I got used for many years before I ended up getting a piece of equipment that is considered like a lot more fancy. And I think that if you have the means to get yourself a Wacom Cintiq, highly recommend. I think it's a great product. But if you are not in a position in your life where spending money on such an expensive tool is just, you know, it's just not in your budget, you don't need it to be great. You know, I kind of fell into the trap for a lot of years where I was like, I think I need
totally
the fancy thing. You don't need the fancy thing. You just need your brain, you know. You need your creative voice above all. And I finally got it, and I think it was worth it. But I waited. I had to calm myself down and wait, because if you're wondering if you need expensive tools to be good, that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, do what you can. That's starting to shape into a manta ray. It's starting to paint into a manta ray. If you guys can envision the future of this. I'm putting it at an angle. So there's the open mouth. There's the other little part. There's that wing that goes up. Oh yeah. There's that other wing that goes up. Oh yeah. This is gonna be a whole manta ray. Trust the process. And I'll put it in. So he's kind of like turned at an angle. I'll put that in there.
I think I am going to start color.
Ooh.
Surprisingly.
How much time
I was
do we
like,
have?
Phew, it's only halfway through. We got plenty of buffering. Oh yeah, I see the stream is buffering now.
Okay, so hopefully it's done now. It just gave me a little hiccup. And everything was frozen. But like I said, folks, I might just have to tweak some of the settings for next time. We have changed up a little bit how we are doing the production for this show. So there are some subtle differences behind the scenes. Hopefully not too, like, I think everything looks the same for you guys, but it's very different behind the scenes for us this time around. So I apologize for any hiccups. We are making our way through the new way to do this. So bear with us. Also,
we're making waves.
Thank you, Cody. Cody, I like how you were silent after you were just like, Yep. So I did ask earlier when we first started. I don't think I saw any complaints about our sound levels or anything, but if anybody has noticed since we've started, if our sound and everything sounds good or bad, let us know in the chat, because that also is a big difference this time versus the previous shows, and we can change those settings and make things sound a little better. May the force be with you, Ray Lancaster. It's not Lancaster, it's Lancashire. That's a cool last name. I wish I pronounced it first. I gave you like 4 options there.
I gave you some options on how to pronounce your name. You're welcome.
Yeah. Just in case you want to change it up, Ray, here's some options for you. I apologize. Okay, let me merge this together. I'm going to leave that. Maybe I'm not going to do like risograph stuff. I'm going to start putting the thing. Well, no, maybe I am. I am going to do it. I don't know exactly how. I'm going to put another shape here because this is going to be another manta. Because mantas school.
Too.
Yeah,
they do.
Mantas do school, and they get good grades. And and I think that putting in a few of them would be cool. And then I'm going to come in with some other colors, maybe some green, and I'm going to start like kind of dropping in little moments that look like different fish, just for my own eye. Let's get a little orange because we are not getting out of this stream today without adding a clownfish. I'm gonna tell you right now, clownfish, sweet babies. They are so cute. I did a project for Create Waves like maybe 4 years ago, something like that. And I was doing some research on clownfish. There are so many more kinds of clownfish than just like the Nemo clownfish.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're all so cute, and they're all like the exact same shape and size. They just have like varying patterns, and all of them have the same face. And and it's a perfect fish face.
It is.
I
love
like
quintessential little face. Yeah.
It's like they're Disney fish.
Yeah.
They're beautiful and perfect, and I love them. So yeah, if you ever get a hankering for you know, just checking out sweet, adorable fish, Google clownfish. Google clownfish. You won't regret it. Let's do some triangles, which are going to be different kinds of fish. The force. The force.
The fish force?
Yeah, the fish force. Fish force! Na 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 na! That's, ooh.
That's a $1 million idea right there.
Thank you. I think that while most of our shows, we do end up having lore for the characters, I feel like, I was like thinking to myself, we're not going to have that this time because we're doing a location, not individual characters. And now we have Fish Force. So I was wrong.
Now we have a whole TV show.
Yeah, now we have a franchise.
Look how
Okay?
productive we're being, okay?
I don't know about you, but I immediately decided in my head that it was going to be along the same vibe as like the X-Men cartoon. You know,
Yes,
like we need a
absolutely.
catchy intro. They need like little nunchucks and batons and like outfits. You know, they need like
Exactly.
they each need a weapon specialization, um, and maybe a dash of fish romance. You never know. You know, you never know.
Jack said Fish Force sounds like an offshoot of Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol, Fish Force. There's a crossover episode that nobody asked for later down the line. It's only said that clownfish taste funny. Can you guess who gave us that joke? I like how the laugh turns into a yawn. Yeah, if you're gonna post these kinds of jokes and puns, Clever Devlin, you have to be prepared for the kind of snark we are going to dish back at you. Um, okay, this, you know what? When I finally make this look good, it's gonna look great.
When it gets past its ugly phase,
it's gonna be stunning.
just trust me.
Wow. Okay, let's actually pick some colors. I'm gonna go to Adobe Color. Color.adobe.com. That's the official jingle.
Wow.
It's not the official
I'm
jingle.
impressed.
Don't tell anybody that that's the jingle, because somebody will have a talk with me about it. Let's see. I like that. Let's go ahead. Download as JPEG. I just went to color.adobe.com. And as you can see, there's like, I just went to explore and scrolled down and found some cool little color palettes, and I found one that I think is going to be our thing. And I am going to just drag it. You can add it to your library if you want, your CC library, but I just told it to download.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to download. Oh no. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and enter. Okay. And it should, yeah. So I just downloaded those colors, and it gave me not only the a little palette of the colors to use, boom, but it also, if you zoom in, it also gave me the hex codes if I wanted to. I've just made them too small to like peek at now, but this is perfect. And I think that like we've got some good like blue green colors in there. We've got kind of a greenish color that I will almost certainly use as a yellow, and then we've got like a coral and an orange, which I think really is perfect for what we're doing here. Again, I'm gonna start
Make the coral colored. Makes sense.
Exactly. And I think that that's gonna do it for us. I'm gonna hide my sketches that I've thrown in as far as our fish and stuff, so I can just take a peek at my piece here. And I'm going to grab, I think, I have a brush that I made a long time ago called Wada. And I don't remember what it looks like, but I guess it kind of looks like Wada.
Wada.
Wada. I think it was for a daily challenge, or a weekly challenge, must have been. But I might use that. I might use, what's this brush? This is kind of a watercolory brush. That could be interesting. I'll think about using those, but let's go to G. I'm gonna grab this blue, throw some blue in the background there. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go into my second view of Photoshop. If you guys are working in Photoshop and you think to yourself, why can't I hold, spacebar and move my canvas around? I believe there is a setting where you can go and change it from disallowing that in that first view of Photoshop, but I tend to leave the settings as is, and if I want to be able to have kind of free range of motion to hold that space bar, drag my canvas wherever I want, and all that good stuff, I just hit F to enter into the second view of Photoshop. And if you are adept at using hotkeys or like to challenge yourself to be better at hotkeys, I suggest hitting F a third time, and you will enter into, I'm just going to full screen mine real quick. You can see there's no UI anywhere. So you're just looking at your own piece, your own artwork, which is, honestly, it helps me keep my eye on the ball, so to speak. You know, I'm just immersed in my piece, and you can hit tab if you want to see, if you need to grab something, and then hit tab again and just go back to working on your piece. And if you are comfortable with hotkeys, or like I said, maybe you want to test yourself, you don't really need to get into the UI at all. If you just are peeking at it in that way. That's typically how I work when I'm not live streaming, actually, is I hide the UI and I just focus on my illustration. Suddenly feels ears getting warmer. Why? Hey everyone, Sigh, I am late, was washing dishes. Hey, sometimes you gotta,
Hello.
Yeah, you gotta take care of those dishes. Washing dishes is one of my least favorite things to do, so I commend you for getting those done. Jeez, Cody, I'm full screening yours right now, is what I'm
have
do.
decided against color, actually.
I
was just like not working for me, so I think I'm just gonna shade it in pencil.
Really? Oh, I love it. Yours is full screened right now because I just wanted to be able to give everybody a little look at all of the wonderful details that you've got going on in your piece right now. I think that I'm hard pressed to choose truly like what my favorite piece is from you from the show. So I don't think it's easy. It's not an easy decision to make. But you have, I think, really outdone yourself with this one.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. There's like so much going on here, and I feel like I've been kind of like making my way through the piece, trying to figure out like how I am going to articulate some of the pieces, and you kind of just like came in here and went nuts, and there's a whole ecosystem on your canvas now.
I think really what made it work for me is because I put it in a fishbowl. If I hadn't given myself like the borders of the environment, that's when I really struggle with environments, when it's like I don't know what it is. It's like some kind of psychological thing where like I really struggle with like grand environments. But if I just give myself like a little bit of a space, I'm like, okay, I need to fill this tiny little space. I'm like, okay, I can visualize that. But like when it's a big environment with no borders, I'm like, I don't know how to handle this.
that is such an incredible point, because it's honestly, we've kind of talked about this through the lens of doing like spot illustration of like, you know, like how does it differ from doing like a big huge project, and you know, your tips and tricks for how to do that. And maybe that's kind of what you've done for yourself too, is like, instead of saying I'm going to do like a full page illustration that has like a big landscape in the background, you know, kind of keeping it to a little window is the same as like putting it all in the fishbowl. Like you've given yourself a boundary, and that boundary doesn't feel as overwhelming as the reality, because you have done a considerable amount of work. I feel like you have more detail in this piece than some people would put in a full scene. But you've changed your thinking really about how to organize that in your head. And honestly, I like it better in the fishbowl. And you've got a kind of a phenomenal amount of personality with it. And maybe sometimes if folks in chat are feeling a little like, I don't know, you know, quite what I'm doing, maybe seeing the process through a different lens or doing something like this could really help you out. Like, well, I want to do this piece, but maybe I'll put a constraint on it that honestly I think maybe isn't really a constraint. but just, you know, kind of a different way of visualizing the end product of your piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have started to put color in here, and I'm actually really liking it. And
ooh, I love the bright colors against the dark background. That looks awesome.
I wasn't gonna do it that crazy, but with the color palette that I threw in, it just has kind of happened. And I kind of like it. I'm using this weird watercolor brush, and I guess it's not really like the risograph vibe, but it is. I think it is real pretty.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it all like this watercolory vibe, and I'm gonna come in with a charcoal brush later, and I'm gonna do lines, like really textury, charcoaly line work is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the original plan, but it is now. Do some of this and some of that. I feel like SpongeBob when he was writing that essay and he just got the down on the page. Some of this and some of that, and then you realize that you haven't even gotten close to finishing your project.
Yeah.
We do have like 3 minutes.
I was thinking of SpongeBob earlier, and I was like, should I add like some little like SpongeBob-esque florals in here? Like,
yes. Let me
some little bees, you know, like the little loopy flowers that are like on Patrick pants in the background and stuff. Just like
give us some 3 hours later.
Yeah,
in the background.
Some bamboo.
Yeah,
you know, make it tropical.
Real authentic here. All right. I think that, you know, we're kind of coming to a close, honestly, and I would like to do some more work on mine, but I feel like I have got like a really good base considering where I want to go with it. And I'm gonna also grab like this light or this green, and I'm going to paint daub this in and throw that on a clipping mask just so that I can kind of visualize maybe my idea for my fish a little bit better. I think that's all the time we have, unfortunately. We do have to take off, but yeah, because we're like right at the end here. But I'm super pumped to see where this one goes. I can't wait to see the future of your piece because this is just fabulous. It's got so much happening. I want to be there. and if you know me, I love sea creatures, but I never want to be in the water with them. But I would be there. I would be where you have created.
I'll draw Val as the scuba diver.
Oh my gosh, please do. Let me be there in spirit because your girl's not getting in the ocean with the big fish, but I wish I could. But yeah, that is all the time we have for today. You folks are fabulous. Cody and I have to take off, but please stay tuned because we've got more awesome design segments coming up after this. Adios, folks.
Thanks, guys. Bye.